Joining me now is Washington Congressman Adam Smith. He is the ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee and a good friend to us. Welcome back, sir. So, Congressman, the administration continues high-level meetings with members of Congress amid these military drills. Has the administration given Congress a strategic explanation for this? I mean, could Trump be mobilizing firepower just to intimidate the Venezuelan President Maduro?
Well, first of all, I think Senator Murphy summed up the problem with it very, very well right there in that clip. And second of all, it's not really clear exactly what the Trump administration intends. I think part of it is they do want to go down there and flex and hope that that makes Maduro go away, which is absurd. That's not going to happen. But I think the real dangerous part about this, they don't know for sure. And I think Donald Trump could make a decision that is not very well thought out that could drag us into a conflict with Venezuela. And they have not been clear with Congress on exactly what the purpose of this is, or even in the case of the, blocking the drug boats, what is the intel behind thinking that this will have some sort of significant impact on either drugs in the U.S. or the influence of the drug cartels throughout the Western Hemisphere? That case simply hasn't been made. And certainly there is no legal, it's not legal to unilaterally kill people on boats in the Caribbean based on this. So we've seen the United Kingdom has backed off sharing intelligence with us because they believe these actions are illegal. So this is a very dangerous step the president is taking on a whole series of levels.
I'd like Josh, my director, to put back up that map so we give perspective. I just want to ask you, how often do U.S. Marines train with counterparts in Trinidad and Tobago, right next to Venezuela there?
Yeah, not often. I mean, look, there's been a long-running effort to try to deal with the, various, drug runners and narco-terrorist groups that are down there, and they are a problem. There's no two ways about that. But it seems like what Trump is more focused on is Venezuela. And as Senator Murphy correctly pointed out, they're not at the center of the drug trade. Certainly they're a piece of it, but there are many, many other pieces, and that's a huge problem. Trump is committing so many military resources, already killed, some 75, 80 people, committing acts of war. And he's not even clear as to, is this for regime change in Venezuela? Is this just to intimidate Maduro? Or does it have nothing to do with Maduro at all, and it's all about the drug trade? There has been very little transparency on that from the administration to the American people, but even to Congress. I mean, even to the key committees, the select committees on intelligence in the House and the Senate have not been briefed on exactly what the basis for this action is.
Let me just ask you, one of the key pieces, could it also be oil? We understand the president has been talking with aides about the strategic oil reserves there and how much of it is there.
Could be. We don't know. Again, President has not been clear on that point. And I think the overarching point in this is, again, what Senator Murphy said in that quick clip, is just another example of the Trump administration thinking that rules and laws and norms do not apply to them. In this case, transparency is a big part of this. There is an obligation for the Department of Defense and for the intel community when they're engaged in these sorts of actions to allow Congress to exercise oversight and to tell us what they're doing. They have not been doing that. Second of all, it's simply not legal for the president to start a war, as he has more or less done with Venezuela, with no authorization from Congress. So they don't seem to be bound by the law, as we've seen over and over again, in terms of what they're doing with the Justice Department, what they're doing with ICE, what they're doing with the military in our cities back in the U.S. It should be deeply concerning to all Americans.
Let's move on to Jeffrey Epstein, because Attorney General Pam Bondi has assigned a federal prosecutor to investigate links between Epstein and former President Bill Clinton and other Democrats, just hours after Trump's orders to do so on social media. In July, the DOJ released a memo on the Epstein case saying it didn't uncover any evidence to launch an investigation against any uncharged third parties. So is this exactly what it looks like? It's the president weaponizing the government to go after his opponents and deflect scrutiny over Epstein.
Yes. It is exactly what it looks like. And 2 points on this. One, again, going back to the lawlessness of the Trump administration, we no longer have a Justice Department in the traditional sense of the word. Donald Trump has turned it into his personal sort of legal department to carry out his political and personal desires. And he's been very transparent about that. He has talked about all the people that he wants the Justice Department to pursue. So the person he wants to pursue comes first. The crime is dug up later. That's not the way this is supposed to work. And now clearly he comes out and says, no, I want the Justice Department going after Democrats. I mean, who says that? I mean, now maybe if you want to be clever about it, you've got a situation where, okay, there's a particular thing that's going on that's harmful to Democrats. There's, I don't know, a corrupt governor somewhere who happens to be a Democrat. So you say, let's go investigate what's going on there. And you at least have the plausible scenario that there was crime. Here, Trump just comes out and says, no, it's not Epstein. We want to go after the Democrats. So please, American people, wake up and realize that this Justice Department is just totally undemocratic. This is what a totalitarian government looks like. Second point, the victims of Epstein deserve justice, okay? This information, whether it's Democrats, Republicans, whoever's involved, we should stop with the political games that Trump, more than anyone, has been playing with this issue for a very long time. Release the files, get the information out there, and pursue the people who have committed crimes. Trump is playing politics with this right from the start. He's the one who dug this whole thing up, claiming that there were Democrats involved, they were part of this, when he was as close to Epstein as absolutely anybody. And now he's trying to bury it for the same political reasons. Let's clear out the politics and give the victims justice.
Congressman Adam Smith, well said, sir. Thank you very much. We'll look forward to seeing you again.
Thanks,